Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel. Now I've got a question for you. When was the last time you used a hashtag? Now this boils into a much bigger question, which is, are hashtags dying? Are they even a thing anymore which you are still using? And the reason for bringing this up is that when we look at the Super Bowl, that is like the pinnacle of advertisements that big businesses are going to pay for. And we'll come on to some of those scary numbers in a minute. But previously, in previous years, hashtags have played a big part in the Super Bowl advertisements. Whereas in this year, out of the 66 ads that were shown throughout the Super Bowl, only 30% of them had a hashtag. What makes this even more interesting is that 41% had a URL. Now, this is the first time since 2012, when hashtags sort of became a thing in advertising industry, is that the URLs have been more popular than hashtags. In fact, I'm going to put a graph up on the screen now, which highlights this point perfectly. As you can see, 2012 we saw the hashtag boom, and then this year we see the cross. Hashtags are still going down and the URLs are coming back. So as you can see, as a year on year, that is a 15% decrease in the use of hashtags in these advertisements. Now it isn't uncommon, and you may have seen it yourself, that the use of hashtags on the likes of Twitter, where obviously it originated, is sort of dwindling away. They're nowhere near it seems to be as popular as they used to be. Twitter as a platform is definitely changing, and not necessarily for most people for the better. I know so many friends of mine who've run tests and A/B tests on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and other types of social, only to find that the interaction and engagement rate on Twitter is by far the lowest. In fact, Twitter handles were only shown in 5 of the 66 ads, and Facebook was only shown in 4. But that's because Facebook handles are just not as prevalent as they are on Twitter. The little @ symbol. So I'm wondering, and would like to hear your input on this as well, whether this is an example of what's to come. Let's put some ideas on this. Is that for every ad that you see on the Super Bowl, it's had a full team of people working on it, and they have taken the conscious decision to not include hashtags and very few Twitter handles, but instead are opting to try and drive people to a website. Obviously, from a business point of view, this is perfect because you're removing a step, you're removing an action that your potential customer is going to have to take. They may go to your Twitter, they may go to your Facebook, but ultimately they're then going to have to make their way to a website if they're going to buy something. By taking them straight to your website, you are getting rid of that need, that necessity, and instead you're making it much simpler for the user. Now, does this mean that we're now living in a society where we have a better recollection of URLs? We're more pre-programmed to remembering URLs than we were maybe 5 years ago? Who knows? Another interesting comparison is the cost of these ads compared to the eyeballs that they're now getting put in front of. I got a few stats together before hitting the record button, and the price for a 30-second Super Bowl ad now costs over $5 million for 30 seconds. Now, whilst that price has gone up over the past few years, ultimately the viewing figures have come down. In 2014, so 2 to 3 years ago, that was 227 million people who watched the Super Bowl live. This year, 111. So that's pretty much halved. Now, this could be a number of things. Obviously, attitudes towards watching TV programs has changed. We're moving much more to an on-demand society. We will watch something when we want to watch it, not necessarily when it's on TV. That is terrible news for marketers and advertisers, because as soon as you record something, you have the ability to fast forward. And if I'm recording anything, I'm not watching the adverts. So these big businesses are now paying, $5 million for 30 seconds for half of the audience that they were getting 3 years ago. Does that mean that because of that, they are now trying to get so more focused, and rather than driving a conversation, they now want to drive a sale. Rather than being the nice guys who try and do something quirky and something funny, they now just want you to get to the website and take an action on the website. Like I said, clearly millions, if not billions of dollars have been spent on Super Bowl advertisements, and not just in the ads themselves, but the development, the marketing, the filming, the editing, everything that goes into it, billions of dollars. Is that now telling us that the hashtags are not a big thing anymore? Is this the decline of the hashtags, and instead are we just going direct marketing to customers? What do you think? I'd love to know what your take on this is. Like I said, and I'll put a link below to the guys from Hashtag Bowl who have done all these metrics from Marketing Land. Check it out, see what you think, and yeah, let me know down below. Do you think hashtags are dying? Have you seen it yourself? If you're a big Twitter user or Facebook user, are you seeing less and less use of hashtags and people just going direct? Let me know. Is this the future of what business marketing is going to be about? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, with that said, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I try and post new videos every single weekday. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.